So page 39, weighted mean. Data points are not all equal value, right? So for example, a teacher may assign different weights to different parts of the student's grade. And so I think you're all familiar with that. The course outline told you that. In high school, things have different weights. So when it comes to percentages, so I actually want you to have a weighted mean category on your study sheet. One that deals with percentages, the other one that deals without percentages. Okay? Percentages, I treat it a little differently. And here's the big, if you can make the box smaller on your study sheet, you can make this shorter, I know that. But it's just basically when you see percentages and you notice that it adds up to, one of the rows adds up to 100, or columns I should say, adds up to 100, we divide our final sum by 100. There's no questions asked. So if you have percentages and you see that one of them adds up to 100%, boom, we divide by 100. We don't have to check or do any of the wanted, unwanted part. You just go for it. So it's still mad, right? We're still multiplying, then we're adding, then we're dividing. Okay, that process doesn't change when it comes to weighted mean. So let's go over to our first example here. It makes it actually easier, in my opinion. So you look at this one. Janice earned the following scores in the different categories as seen in the table. Calculate her average score, the mean score. I can tell you already that it's going to be divided by 100. But you notice percentage. Check once. 15 and 20, that's 35. This is 60. That's 40. That adds up to 100. Therefore, this is the symbol for therefore, by the way. Divide by 100. Just don't use it on your essay, okay? It's not going to work well for you. In math, that's okay. So therefore divide by 100. So we know our division is going to be divided by 100. No questions asked. So what's left? Mad, right? We do multiply. Right, we multiply these numbers. You're going to get bigger values, right? 45 times 15, that's 675, plus 39 times 20, that's 780, plus 85 times 25, 2125, plus 90 times 40. Question for you. Which one, look at the numbers, they're going to help you. Which one of these categories is going to impact your mark the most? Exam, right? Look, exam will contribute to 36, like it's the biggest contribution to your entire mark because it is weighted the heaviest. And in this case, Janice scored the highest as well. So she scored 90% and it is weighted 40%. This is going to be the most impactful on her mark, okay? So when we do this, now we're ready for the average. We add this up, okay? When you add that up, you get 7180. What are we going to divide by? 100, right? Because this was percentage, this involved percentages. I checked. You can check both of them. But the top one is very easy to find out that it's going to be over 100, right? 45, 39, 85, 90. I didn't bother checking it, but then I checked the second one. Boom, I got 100. So I have to divide by 100. There's no question about it. This divided by that gives you 71.80%. It's okay to do decimals because my Gradekeeper actually gives me decimals as well. It just doesn't allow me to do that on your report card. On your report card, I bump this up to 72, right? So I bump up. If it's past 0.5, I bump up. If it's less than that, I round down. So this is the average score, 71.8%. I think I'm going to let you. Let's just do this one right here. I want you to see the alternative to weighted. Calculate Janice's average score if every category weighed the same. Why is the weighted mean greater? So make sure you pay attention to this. So let's say I today announced that, you know what, we're not going to have any weights. Forget about the weights. Okay? It's just going to be, everything is going to be worth the same. Your AC is the same, quizzes are the same, tests are the same, exam are the same. All the marks are exactly the same. In that case, I would just say, for average, I would just go 45 plus 39 plus 85 plus 90. So I add up the scores. What do I need to divide this by? The number of items I've added, which is 4. That ends up being 259 divided by 4, which gives me a mark of 64.75%. So you get a lower mark. If everything is the same, now you get a lower mark under the new model. And why is that? Well, because scoring 90 on your last one doesn't really make a big difference because it's the same weight as all of the other ones, right? So it doesn't really make a difference to study hard for your final exam. It's not going to necessarily boost you that much. So I will just tell you this, the exam was her best score. So, best score and had the heaviest weight. So that's the reason. The exam was her best score, and it was had the heaviest weight on it. That's why the weighted mean is higher than if we just ignored that fact. Okay. All right. I'm going to ask you to try 40 to 41 right now. I have to talk about one more concept yet, so please try these questions before I move on so that you kind of have a good grasp of things. So I'm going to pause here for a bit. The following table shows the number of electronic devices households own. I'm just going to warn you. You're listening, right? Not always, when there are percentages, will it add up to 100. It doesn't always happen. I right now set it up in such a way. I probably shouldn't have, but not always. And you will see, I know that one AC for sure, the percentages do not add up to 100, in which case you have to do the thing that I did with the repetition. You have to divide by the unwanted. Okay, you have to decide which one do you not want to keep. But here I notice percentages. And some of you already decided, yeah, that's 100, so divide by 100. So at the end, we're going to have to divide by 100 for sure. You can just multiply as is without converting. And you get 2, 1 second here. 2, 14, 30, 60, 105. Please stop me if I make a mistake. Okay, 102, Is this 102? Yeah. 112, 63, 70. Okay? So you multiply it all out, and now you're ready for your mean. You know it's going to be divided by 100 at the end. You add all of that up. You get 558. So if you divide that, you get 5.58 devices. Okay? On average, families have 5.58 devices per household. Okay? There we go. Let's say you missed it. If you just went devices, right, times like households, which is percentage, which one do we want to keep? We want to keep devices. So technically, you need to divide by percentage to keep devices, right? So it still works here.
Excuse the interruption. Mila Chief to the office for a message, please. Mila Chief to the office for a message.
So I'm going to go score and weight. So you make your own little table here. Okay? So we've got grades 85, 72, 65, 90 on 4 tests. If each is worth the same, what is the final grade? Let's do A here. I jumped the gun here, sorry. If you just want, if all of them are the same, it's just 85 plus 72 plus 65 plus 90 divided by 4. That's just what it is. It's just a regular average, arithmetic average, mean, right? You get 312 divided by 4. So your average is 78%. If there aren't different weights associated. But B, now we've got different weights. So it's 85, 72, 65, and 90 that you scored. And we know that the first was 10%. The second and third were each worth 20%. And the last one is worth 50%. So now it changes. Now it turns into a weighted mean. You still multiply, okay? And you get 850, 1440, 1300, and 4500. Like that. You add that all up, you get 8090. And by the way, both of these were percentages. You got to check both of them. This one adds up to 100, right? The weight category. So to go find your average is 8,090 divided by 100. That's 80.9% is your average score, right? So no weights, weighted mean, right? Most classes have a weighted mean situation. Most of your classes. Maybe some don't. I'm trying to think, does anybody going to have a course that you're taking where everything is worth the exact same? There's no like final that's worth more? I don't know. I can't think of a class. I've never been in a class where that's the case, right? So just keep in mind, that's what it is. Okay, now the backwards one.